Hello, hello, wonderful women entrepreneurs. Oh, I am so fired up about today's topic because I just want to really have you understand how 2023 is going to be so different from these past couple of years. And the reason why I want you to understand this is because if you're aware of it, you are going to be better on the other side of it. So if you're joining me in today's live, definitely let me know by dropping a hashtag team live in the comment section. And if you're catching this replay, hashtag team replay. And as I'm speaking today, what resonates with you? What questions do you have? And what is your vision for 2023 for your business, your goals? It can be, your financial vision, your team vision, your offering vision, your empire view vision. Let me know and claim that in the comments because I'm going to talk about why this year, specifically this year we're going into, is going to be the worst year for many and the best year for some. And how can you be on the side that is rising? There are going to be many businesses that we see sink in this next 12-month period. And that's not to scare you, but it should excite you. It should motivate you to be, how are you not going to be that person that drops off? How are you going to be that person on the other side saying, this has been my best year yet? This year has been better than I could have even imagined. So, why am I saying this? And why do we know this is going to happen? Well, there are things happening outside of the digital world, in the real world, and then there's things happening in the digital world that are telling us things are coming. And history does repeat itself. We are in cycles. And so we know that the economic state is changing. But how are things changing in the digital world? Well, things that are happening outside of the digital world are affecting how things are showing up in this digital world. So I'm going to go over what I mean by that so that you can have the awareness and we can rise together in this new year and have this new year be your best year yet, um, and be prepared for what is to come. So, you possibly started your business before the pandemic, either just before or during, or maybe you have been in business quite a while, for like over 3 years, because that's about when it started. So if you started your business at the beginning of the pandemic or during it, um, you came into the digital world during a certain time. And so this has become your normal, right? Your normal ecosystem. This is how business has been for you. We are coming out of this stage. And so we are noticing shifts in the online marketplace due to the changes in the pandemic situation. So let me lay out the picture. If you were to start your business in the pandemic, during these last few years, so 2020, 2021, and 2022, more people were online because we were locked in our houses, right? We didn't have opportunity to do as much social interaction and such. More people were online, more people were consuming. That's one point. More people were starting businesses, right? People were realizing, oh my goodness, I can work from home, that there was different opportunities. So more people were starting businesses, right? This is a rapidly growing industry. This service-based online industry is growing extremely fast, many of which people started during these last few years. Okay, so 2, there's more people. 3, there was actually more disposable income during these last few years because, stimulus checks were going out, right? There was different other kinds of supplement income coming into households that people were spending on coaches, on courses, and investing, all of these things. So those are the 3 major factors. More people were on social media, more people were starting businesses and getting into this space, So, and more people were buying because they either had more disposable income or they're trying to fill something, right? We try to fill our time with things. We like buying things. If we're not going to the store, we're online shopping or buying this course or we're investing in this coach. So people were doing a lot of buying. So, how is this changing as we go into 2023? Well, more things are opening up. The world is opening up for in person events, for travel, for opportunity that hasn't been there for the past couple of years. So, less people are as active as they used to be on social media, if we're talking about during the pandemic versus coming out. Okay, so one, time spent on social media. Two, now that so many people have started their businesses during this time, the market is more saturated. There's more people doing what you're doing. There's more people doing workshops. There's more people doing challenges. There's more people doing these webinars and funnels, right? More people have entered this industry. And the third one, financial decisions. How people are choosing to spend their money is changing because of the economic state. People are more conscious also because they've invested over these last couple of years in different coaches, courses, mentors. They've been a part of these master classes and challenges, and people are becoming more picky and more selective about where they spend their time, their money, and energy because there's so much out there. So, what does this look like, and what does this tell us for 2023? This tells us that being an option is no longer going to be an option. There is no space to be average in the new year. So, how do you not be average? Your brand. Your brand is what allows you to differentiate yourself, your offer, and speak to your dream client. Even though the states are changing in the digital and outside of the digital world, there's always still people buying. The difference is people are going to be buying who they trust and who they know they believe in can get them the results they're looking for. Whether this is related to health, fitness, finance, business, relationships, whatever industry you're part of. If you aren't the trusted source to go to, then that person isn't going to invest. So what you want to do is become that person. When somebody thinks of health coach, you want them to be thinking of your face, your name, your offer. When somebody thinks of financial advisor, they want to be thinking of your face, your name, your offer. If you're a business coach, they're thinking about investing in a business coach, or they hear Sally or Betty or Freddie asking, hey, do you know a business coach? You want to be the person they are thinking of. And this comes down to your brand. Brand has always been important. And this year, we are going to see how important it is. Because there are people that have completely left their 9-to-5s to pursue their business or are full-time in their business. We're going to see those people stopping business and going out and applying for jobs, going back into their previous employer or employment situation that they were once trying to get out of. People that are in a 9-to-5 and have this business on the side they're trying to grow, we're going to see those people back away from that business in this next year. Because the ecosystem we've been living in for the past couple of years is no longer the same. Specifically, in these last 6 months, I run a marketing agency, so I see the social media side of things especially. We are seeing huge changes with not just small business owners, But the large businesses, the best of the best coaches, the best of the best service providers, the biggest industries, all of these people are experiencing lower show up rates than ever, lower what's the word? Engagement, right? Used to be you could host a master class or you would host a workshop and a pretty good percentage of those people would show up to the live. We are seeing a huge decrease in the amount of show ups. It's because of the things I just mentioned. The time spent on social media, more people in the market, all of these things. People are really paying attention to where they're spending their money now. But there's always a buyer. There's always a buyer. So you can take this news and you can be that person that steps away, or you can be the person that rises. We know that this time, the way the economy is going, is the best opportunity to leverage our growth. We can take what is happening and we can make this the best for us and our business. But you have to be aware of it. You have to be aware that what you are doing this year and 2021 and 2020 is no longer going to serve you the same way in this new year. Because we are seeing such a rapid change in these last 6 months specifically that is telling us that we need a strong foundation that doesn't depend on trends, that doesn't depend on algorithms. We need a strong business structure for how you're getting leads into your business, how you're converting those leads, and how you are retaining those clients. If you do not have your business structures in place and you're following the flashy things and you don't have focus in this new year, you're not going to be on the side you want to. I want you to take this time to map out what your 2023 looks like. And what I mean by mapping out what it looks like, I mean, what is your structure of your business? How are you implementing that? And making sure that you have not structured your business based on trends or based on the algorithm. Making sure that you own the contacts that you have. So this is what I mean by you don't want to be 100% everything's on Facebook, and if your Facebook was shut down tomorrow, what would you be left with? That's what's scary. If that scares you, the thought of that, then we need to think about your database, where your leads are. Do you have people's emails? Do you have people on LinkedIn or Instagram? Instagram and Facebook are connected, so we also need to be aware of that. Under the same umbrella, Instagram and Facebook. So do you have an email list? Do you know the names of your leads? Do you have their phone number? Do you remember information about them, right? If your messenger chat goes away, do you know anything about this person? Do you remember how they serve, who they serve, or what their struggle is, or their goals? If we don't have this information and we're storing all of it in our mind, in 2021, I had it all stored in my mind. My leads were in my mind. I knew who they were. That's not going to help us when we need to grow, scale. When we need to outsource systems in our business, you bring on a team member. This is what happened when I started to bring on my first long-time, full-term team member. I was like, yeah, I have it all up here. This is why SOPs are so important, that we have systems so that if something were to happen to you, right, if you were to get sick or go on holiday or something happens in the family, that you have these structures set up. So we really want to be in this space, both mentally and physically in our business, prepared to be on the upper side of 2023. Because it's going to come down to awareness and a choice to take action. If you choose to be like, oh yeah, I heard what she said, but I'm just going to continue to do what I'm doing, and it's no longer going to be enough in 2023. Because what I did to launch my first program in the very beginning of 2020, no, very end of 2020, I launched my first ever low ticket offer, did a 3-day workshop, sold, it was around 10 of my low ticket offer, my first launch. That, what I did then, how I grew my group then, if I did that same thing now, it would not work. Like, what I did then, it simply wouldn't work now. You have to be able to adapt. And adapt, again, doesn't mean follow the trends, doesn't mean change your marketing strategy based on the algorithm. It means adapt to what's happening in the space around you. How are you going to be the person I think of in your industry? An amazing entrepreneur that has been doing so much social media in this last year, like I didn't know who they were in 2021, and now they're all over, is Alex Hormozy. If you consume any of his content, I'm right now working through his audiobook. It's also a physical book. It's called $100 Million Offers. He is literally a genius. And this is he calls it, I believe, the Grand Slam offer. And it's solid business advice. It's not based on trends. Like it's what's happened for decades, and he really does it in a good and consumable way. So if you're wanting to create a solid offer, I highly recommend you listening or checking out his ebook, $100 Million Offers. Obviously, I'm not affiliated or anything like that, but yeah, you want to know what's going to differentiate yourself in this new year, what's going to make you be the top of mind person. How are you going to be connected with the people that are going to serve you in this new year? Because relationships are the foundation of a profitable brand. So the stronger your connection with people, your relationships that you build, that's going to take your brand far, because other people trust people, right? If my friend, or if, for example, my first ever business coach, I am still in contact with her, we still chat all the time, I really trust who she refers me to, who she talks about, her experience, because we've built a relationship. And so if she referred me to somebody who says, oh, they're an expert in this space, I already have an automatic trust, somewhat of a trust in that brand. And so this is how it's like the power of one kind of thing, right? It just starts with one person. This is also why client experience is so important. If people have good experiences with you, you build your referral base by simply delivering. I could go on and on today, but there's been so many things coming up, and I've had so many wonderful connections and conversations in these last couple of weeks with tons of different service providers in different industries, from the finance, business, health, all these things. And there's this very, very common trend as we talk about how things are shifting so fast as we go into this new year. And I know that this year is going to be like nothing I've experienced in my business because of how things are changing so fast. So this is the best opportunity. I see this year as like the absolute best opportunity. It's your time to grow. It's your time to rise. But you need to be able to claim that, own that, and show up and own the fact that you are unique. Like if you are trying to do what everyone else is doing, if you're looking at everybody else's names, prices, all these things, and just trying to be average in the market, so what they say is like a commodity. You become a commodity, you become one amongst the many, and you get lost in the sea. So, how are you going to be the one that stands out really comes down to your brand positioning, and the relationships you build. So, if you have questions, comments, let me know below whether you're watching hashtag Team Live or hashtag Team Replay. I would love to see and hear. And I'm also more than happy to go live again, talking more in depth about maybe some concerns you have, questions you have, excitement you have for this new year, because it's so important that I listen to my audience and understand how I can serve you best in this moment. I'm just going to check the comment section. Hi, Jen. I'm planning to be completely authentic and avoid most trends. Amazing. I always feel spastic trying to do too many things at the same time and deciding to focus on building my email list, posting. I'm planning on continuing to build my email list. Yes, I mean, email is always a great place. Email is not dead. It's funny. Funny enough, it's not dead. It still is a source of communication. And when we think about things outside of this entrepreneurial and digital world, like when we think about these big corporations, right? How do they communicate? Things are done over email as well. Still a thing at this point in time. So, yeah, any points of connection is going to be a good point of connection. Let's say that. Like, if you're connected on LinkedIn and you're also connected on Instagram, great. If you're connected on Twitter, great. Any connection point is a good connection point. So it's not about doing all in one and just having in one place. It's really about making sure that you're protecting the connections you have built so that you don't lose contact with those relationships. And when you build those relationships and you have multiple connection points, you just have an overall stronger network. I'd love to have you say focus on X, then Y, then Z, incorporating at the same time. Okay, is that a question or a comment? I'm not sure I'm understanding, so feel free to clarify. Focus on X, Y. I want to make sure I'm fully understanding the question. So if there's another way of phrasing, or we can take it into the DMs. But if you're wondering like what you should focus on in the new year, just let me know. Just say yes in the comments and I'll know that that's what you mean. Like you should do this, 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 and this. It's going to be really dependent on everybody and everybody's unique circumstance. Sort of question, I guess, direction of what to do and what order. Okay, so again, this is going to depend on the stage of business everyone is in. But when we think about stepping into this new year, whether you are just beginning, whether you're in a couple years, whether you're in a long time, you want to reevaluate. Oh, I wish I had my paper here. I should pull out my paper and explain what I'm going over with my team today. So today I'm having my team meeting. We're talking about the vision for 2023, mapping that out. So what we're going over on the call is the process and everything in between of what takes somebody from not knowing who I am to becoming paying client and past that. So I'm dividing the categories that I go over with my team in with, okay, how are we obtaining clients in the new year? What is the core offerings we are having in this year? How are we onboarding these clients? How are we delivering the service and retaining the clients? So those are the main sources when it comes to the client journey. Then on the other side of things, I'm talking to my team about how are we hiring team members and our process to do that? How are we communicating with our clients? How are we organizing our business on the back end? And different things like that, more operations side of things. So when you break it down into these categories, usually when you look at it in this different way, you see, oh, I don't even have a process for this, or oh, yes, I know how to do this. And you usually are able to see the gaps when you divide your business into categories. It can feel very overwhelming if you look at your whole business and be like, so what's the goal? And then you just slap a revenue goal on it and you don't know how you're going to execute. That's not too helpful. We want to go through the different sectors of your business and evaluate what's the action step for this. It's great to have goals, but what I've realized is it's really easy to come up with goals and have no action steps to get there. It's super easy to do this because I did this before. I did this stepping into 2021. I was like, oh, I have goals for my business. But then I had no action plan of actually how this is going to happen. And I didn't break it down. So through the months and years, I've realized, okay, let's go through each sector and figure out where are the gaps right now. How can we fill those gaps? And then, of course, you're going to evolve throughout the year. Like how I was 12 months ago is completely different than how I show up and operate. And even my offerings have shifted since I've stepped away from the business coaching side and focused on my agency. And so a lot changes in a short amount of time. But what you want to be going into 2023 with is a clear vision for what that can look like, but allow yourself to evolve. So to answer your question, Jen, start by categorizing the different areas of your business, just like my example. And then you can think of a goal that you have for those each sector. Like, what do you want the outcome? And then creating action steps for this. So I can tell you guys right now how I'm going to be obtaining clients in the new year for my agency services. How I obtain clients for done for you services is a different approach than I did for coaching because it's just a bit different. But in the new year, I'm going to be obtaining clients through networking events. That's both virtual and in person. So that's one. Through content marketing. So consistent content that could be including written content, video content, such. Email marketing, live launching, and guest speaking. Guest speaking in people's paid groups, free groups, podcasts, right? Being featured in articles. So those are the main sectors that I'm obtaining clients. As a done for you service provider, any service provider, but specifically done for you services, referral relationships are a great way for a pretty consistent business when you build out amazing referral partnerships where it's a two-way street. Two-way street meaning you refer as well, can be huge. So that's definitely going to be a different and new focus as I move into the new year for my business. And then I'm going to look at the comment section. SOPs not only allow you to build a systematic procedure, but also prevent you to experience burnout in your business. Can we get a clap for that? Absolutely. Having business systems and structure is huge. Saves you time, money, and energy. It's something that I should have thought about and implemented way sooner in my business. If I went back, I would do that faster, create my systems in my business faster. Okay, so I don't see any other questions or comments, but if you're watching #team replay, then let me know in the comment section your greatest takeaway, your biggest question, and I would love to speak on it. Bye for now.